What's up, comic fam, comic fans? And it's time for the preview show. It's time to preview the comic books coming out July 30th, alright? So let's get into the books. We got spec books, we got spotlight books, we got the return of the FOC books, and we got the rest of the books coming out this week. And we're going to do it all right after this. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Alright, let's get into it. You know how we do. We start off with the spec books. Alright, this week, guys, a little slow on the spec, so we'll get through it. But I almost just was like, there's no spec this week, but there's always spec every week. These are the weeks where winners and losers are made, I guess. First off the bat, we got Mark Spears Monsters number 6. This is cover C. This is a variant. What makes this cover so different is that you got Vampirella on the cover, alright? And they allowed Mark Spears to use it. This is a Keen Spot book. Vampirella is not, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but typically associated with Keen Spot. She's kind of her own thing. You got Vamp, maybe Dynamite. So, yeah. Vamp on a Keen Spot Mark Spears cover C. There are rumors of a monster show, so who knows if Vamp can get on that show too. That'd be big, right? So anyway, that's the first spec book. Next up, we got Spider-Man and Wolverine number 3, and there's just a new villain in this one. First appearance. Should have these things ready. Dread Shadow. So that would be a first appearance of a character called Dread Shadow in this one. Alright, and then moving on, last on the spec list is The War number 1. And this was in an anthology series. Oh, the name escapes me right now, but they decided to collect it and put it into one comic. So I guess it was that good. Hello Darkness. This was in Hello Darkness. So now they've collected it, and it'll be its own comic. So, you know, that just shows that it was that good that they thought this story needed its own time to shine. So there you go. All right. Those were the spec books. Now let's get into the spotlight books. First off the bat, we have Bring on the Bad Guys Loki number 1. This is part 4 of 7 one-shots starring these villains kind of on a mission for Mephisto. We got a very deranged Loki on this cover, and Thor, at least that looks like Thor with his hammer in the background. There's a couple of other covers back there, so you know, pick the one you like the most. Not sure how much I like cover A, but when we get to the store and we see all the covers, that's when we'll make that decision. This is Lee Bermejo, by the way, on the cover. So that's a spotlight book. Next up, we got Speed Racer number 1. Hey man, there's got to be some Speed Racer fans out there. I think this is the 4th volume of Speed Racer. So there you go. If you want some Speed Racer in your life, Speed Racer number 1 is up. And then, hey, Spider-Man versus the Sinister 16. Like, what, did everybody just get together one day and say, hey, let's beat up on Spidey? So there you see Spidey's just trying to eat his bowl of cereal, and he's got a bunch of baddies behind him. Of course, you know there's going to be a couple of other covers. It is a Spidey book. J. Michael Straczynski writing it. Alright, Phil Noto on the art. Terry Dodson on the cover with Rachel Dodson. So, yeah, that's it. Alright, guys, let's get into those FOC books. And what book can outsell a reboot of Batman, a new volume of Batman? How about Deadpool with Batman? You add a little Deadpool to the Batman action, and you get books that are selling better than just a Batman book. So we're at the FOC, final order cutoffs, guys. This is for August 4th, so get your orders in by August 4th at State of Comics. You have until 8 p.m. Some places do want you to get them in earlier. Most places will let you get it in on Monday, just by close of business day, whether that's 5 p.m., 8 p.m., 10 p.m., whatever time. as long as they have time to put in the books. Here, as you see, we went to State of Comics, we went to Best Selling. State of Comics is paying me nothing for this, so that's not an advertisement for them. Advertisement, if you will. But yeah, we're just checking it out. According to them, the #1 best-selling book right now is Deadpool Batman, the Scotty Young variant. There is a Stitch variant as well. But let's just take a peek at like maybe the 3 books that seem to be sorry, the Stitch variant is Avengers #30, by the way, not Deadpool Batman. Let's take a look at the 3 books that float my boat. You got Deadpool Batman, or yeah, Deadpool Batman. You have Batman #1, cover A, Jorge Jimenez. I feel like Batman #1 was also FOC last week, but they had things like the blind bags and some variant covers this week. Looks like it's just cover A, could be wrong. And then if you aren't reading Absolute Wonder Woman, there are some, I mean, first of all, you should read it. There are some really dope covers. You have this cover here. This one is really cool. So I like this cover. And then and then whenever I press that button, there it is. That's a nice cover. Yeah. But anyway, Absolute Wonder Woman #11. So we got Deadpool and Batman, Batman #1, Absolute Wonder Woman #11. Here you can see there's a couple of other books coming out this week. Absolute Martian Manhunter, which kind of comes out on the same schedule as Wonder Woman. Also a really good book. And here are some other Deadpool Batman variants, alright? Got Batgirl and Elektra. You got Deadpool with the Infinity Gauntlet and a bunch of other characters on there. Right? You got Magic and Catwoman, Green Arrow and Daredevil. Is that Thing and Big Barda just duking it out? Daniel Warren Johnson cover there. So, and there are a ton of other ones. You got Terry Dodson doing a cover. And here's another really cool Wonder Woman #11. Alright, so we are done with the FOC, guys. Just pick the book that you like the most. But the spotlight was on Deadpool Batman, Batman #1, and Wonder Woman #11. Alright, let's get into it. Let's get into the books coming out this week. First off, we're going to start off with Marvel. Alright, you got some Ultimate Spider-Man. Probably the best Ultimate title out right now. The Ultimate's #14, probably not far behind Spidey. The Incredible Hulk, probably the best horror book, at least out of the big 2 on the market. Superman and Wolverine, we talked about that in the specs. Gods, One World Under Doom, that's going to introduce the Gods characters, the GODSs, to the One World Under Doom storyline. Spider-Man vs. the Sinister 16, still going on. Bring on the bad guys. Loki #1. Werewolf by Night, the composer for the music for the Disney show, helped to write that. Goofy. There's a what if Goofy became Spider-Man. That might be interesting. Star Wars The High Republic has a finale issue. That's it. I believe the High Republic time is over. Obviously they can fill in the gaps with some stories, but the beginning and ending are here. It's been bookended. Marvel Rivals has a comic. Jeff the Landshark #1 gets a second printing. Emma Frost, the White Queen. I've seen some pre-orders for that. And yeah, and the rest of the books coming out this week. Alright, we're off to DC Comics. Nightwing has an annual. The Titans have an annual. The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, is on issue #8. Justice League Dark Tomorrow has a special, issue #1. Got The Flash with an issue. DC and Sonic the Hedgehog keeps keeping on with issue #5. Gotham City Sirens Unfit for Orbit on issue #5. feel like that just came out yesterday. California Love is out with issue number 1. Superman has Superman number 1. There's a facsimile of that, including a blank variant, because it is con season. Dollar Tree has a Batman 608. So hit up your Dollar Trees, and there's a Batman Superman World's Finest number 1 also at the Dollar Tree. We're off to Image Comics. Image, they've got a ton of books, guys, including a bunch of Spawn stuff. Assorted Crisis Events is on issue number 5. Lucky Devils is only on issue number 4. News from the Fallout gets to issue number 2. What's the Furthest Place from Here is already on issue number 22. Let's see. A lot of things out there. Lost Fantasy has a second printing on issue number 2. Exquisite Corpses has reprints of issues number 1 and 2. I think I saw also reprints of the polybags with the cards. So I know I saw it for 2. Let's see if issue 1 has one of those. Oh, I wouldn't even know how to figure out which one is which. These are the ones that already came out, and these are the reprints. There's a 1 in 10 wraparound, a second printing, and a third printing. None of them say they have the poly bag with the card, but I know issue 2 has one. Oh well. Anyway, let's go back to Image Comics. And again, let's see. What else do we have? These are the featured releases this week. Some recently renewed titles. If you press the button that says Image Comics, this is what you get. Which isn't bad. Which is not bad. But there we go. Here's all the rest of the books. Let's see, where were we? G.I. Joe number 7 has that Jason Howard print with the characters, and there's some other books. Lucky Devils number 3 has a second printing, and there's going to be an ash can for Skinbreaker number 1. So if you're lucky enough for your comic shop to gift you, bequeath you one of those, or just sell it, there is an ash can coming out this week. We are now at IDW, home of Sonic the Hedgehog, with issue number 80. Godzilla vs. Boston. Boston looks like it's going up in flames. Monster High World Scare number 1. That's a new number 1. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Best of Renee number 1. Alright, let's go. This will be quick. This is Dark Horse Comics. And Dark Horse Comics has issue number 2 of the Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, Children of the Night. And there's Star Wars Hyperspace Stories Tides of Terror number 1. That's a Star Wars number 1 coming out of Dark Horse. We are now off to Dynamite. And what's coming up out of Dynamite? You got some Space Ghost and Johnny Quest. Space Quest! Thundercats, The Terminator, DuckTales. There's a Gargoyles book, Demona. What else? The rest of these seem to be really expensive variant covers. Alright, we are now at Mad Cave Studios. This may be the first time I've done a solo for Mad Cave Studios. But let's see, what's out of Mad Cave Studios? Speed Racer number 1 we talked about. You got some Flash Gordon. Oh, and yeah. All sorts of books. Alright, let's keep it going. But Speed Racer number 1 for you Speed Racer fans out of Mad Cave Studios. Boom! Here comes the boom. Ready or not. Boom Studios. The War number 1. We talked about that. That was on the spec list. Who knows? Who knows? Any indie book these days could become something. We also have a number 1 out of Boom Studios. Fence Breakthrough Game Changer. Alright. And there is a Last Witch book. Alright, let's get into all the other books coming out this week. Starting on the bottom. Started on the bottom. Now we there. Or here. Or somewhere. Anyway, these are A lot of these are mangas. Let's see, there's a San Diego Comic-Con foil of Post Malone's Big Rig. What else? You got the Lady Death lingerie, Archie and Pal, Jughead, Lady Death Masters. What else? Some more Lady Death. La Muerta, Last Rites #1. That was like a $25 book, by the way. A lot of these Lady Deaths are, these are all $25 books. Some of them are even more expensive than that. You got Avatar, The Last Airbender. Let's see. I think we're almost there. At least halfway there. Guys, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Let's see. Sonic the Hedgehog out of Webtoons. That's on issue number 17. Heatseeker Exposed #1. It's cover H. That's a $10 book. Alright. Let's see. You got Betty and Veronica. World of Betty and Veronica Jumbo Comic Digest. That's actually a $10 book, guys. And I feel like I thought, correct me again if I'm wrong, I thought a lot of those were reprints. But it is jumbo sized, so you're getting bang for your buck. American Mythology has Contest of Creatures #1. Alright. I like to point out #1s when I catch them. Let's see, what else do we have? Heatseeker Exposed on issue number 2. Mega Man X Timelines on issue number 1 out of Udon. I think there's a couple of covers for that. Out of Alcatraz, issue number 5 out of Oni Press. And Mark Spears Monsters #6, which we talked about having the Vampirella variant cover. That is also out this week. Alright, comic fans, those were the comic books coming out this week. If you like the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Go ahead and throw me a thumbs up. Comment down below. Do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. I'm going to get ready for this week's books. Peace. Deuces. We're out. Ka-chink.